welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
So, today we're taking a closer look at some sources or articles, notes, reviews, that sort of thing. They're all centered around Meri Horton and her work. Specifically, we're digging into what they say about relationships, marriage in particular.
Right. And our goal here is really to kind of unpack what these materials tell us about her approach,
Exactly. We want to help you quickly get the main ideas, understand maybe where she's coming from, her background.
And why her perspective seems to be hitting home for people, especially on making marriage work.
Yeah. And speaking of background, the sources actually give some interesting detail there.
They do. They mentioned she worked for the state of Illinois for a long time, like 28 years.
Wow, 28 years as an administrator.
Yeah, before she went full-time into her coaching business. So it's not like she just came out of nowhere, theoretically speaking. It's a big career shift.
Definitely brings a different life perspective, I'd imagine.
For sure. And the sources are really clear. Her passion is married couples and engaged ones, too.
Okay, so with that focus, these sources really highlight one sort of core concept she talks about a lot, doing time.
Ah, yes, doing time.
What exactly do the sources say that means?
Well, they describe it as basically being in a marriage where, yeah, you're technically married, but you're just miserable, unhappy. It's like just going through the motions of life together, sort of passive, no real joy, not an active, growing connection.
Going through the motions, that really paints a picture, doesn't it? That feeling of just existing together.
Exactly. And this idea seems central to her work, especially one of her books.
Right. The sources mentioned a few titles: Called to Intercede, Called to Lead, Masters of Marriage. But the one that really ties into this doing time idea is, well, the book actually called Doing Time.
That's the one. And this is where the feedback in the sources gets interesting. They suggest it's not just, like, philosophical.
Oh, how so?
It's praised for being really practical. For instance, there's feedback from someone named Gina Bess.
Okay, what did Gina say?
She calls it an excellent tool, and not just for married people, but for dating individuals, too.
Oh, interesting. So useful even before marriage.
Yeah, for, like, getting through the rough patches and building something healthy from the start. Jeannie even said it's like a book and workbook all in one.
A workbook.
Yeah.
So suggesting actionable steps, maybe exercises?
Seems like it. And that practical, actionable side, that's echoed by Apostle Dion Campbell, too.
Right, I saw that quote.
Yeah, they're quoted saying doing time is way more than just, theories or wishful thinking.
What was the phrase they used? Something quite strong.
They called it a bona fide relationship masterpiece.
Wow. Masterpiece.
Yeah, and they specifically highlighted that it gives step-by-step instructions.
Step-by-step instructions on how to build what do they call it? A successful marriage.
Exactly. So moving from just going through the motions, that doing time state,
to building a masterpiece using practical steps. That's pretty compelling feedback from the sources.
It really is. And if you connect the dots, the sources really position her work, and this book especially, as the answer to that doing time problem.
Right. She's giving couples the tools to avoid that misery.
Yeah, tools to actively build something vibrant, something successful. The feedback really suggests her stuff offers a roadmap.
Probably covering things like communication, understanding needs, that sort of thing.
Given the descriptions like step-by-step and navigating rough times, yeah, that seems likely based on what the sources imply.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What are the key takeaways from this deep dive into the source material?
Well, we've got Meri Horton's background, that long career in state admin before coaching.
Her clear passion for couples.
Yeah.
And this really central kind of powerful concept of doing time.
Right. Being married, but miserable, just going through the motions.
And then we saw how her book, Doing Time, seems to offer a practical way out of that.
Getting really strong reviews, being called that relationship masterpiece, praised for having those step-by-step instructions.
All aimed at building, successful, healthy marriages instead.
And just for anyone listening who might be interested based on this, the sources do list contact info.
Oh, yeah.
And email hortonmary@outlook.com. There's a phone number, 855-927-3977.
Okay.
And even a mailing address in Olympia Fields, Illinois.
Good to know. It really makes you think, though, about that contrast the sources present.
Yeah.
Moving from just passively doing time to actively building what they call a successful marriage, or even that masterpiece.
It's a big shift.
It is. So based on everything we've looked at in these sources, what does it really take to make that leap, to go beyond just existing in a relationship?
That's definitely something to chew on.